This is beautiful, baby.
Well, welcome. Let me see. Had to do some muting here. Had to do some muting on this end here. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this evening. We got what we call. I'm trying to get Donald Toussaint. Trying to get Donald Toussaint is in. He's in, but I can't see his video. So hopefully Donald Toussaint's gonna be with us as well. Hey, boo boo. We got what we call, this is a Real Men Being Men. We got what we call four square conversation. We got what we call four square conversation. We have four different topics and we talk about them for 30 minutes. Sometimes we get to all four of them, Pastor, and sometimes we don't. It depends on how it flows and how it goes. And I'm actually multitasking over here, but while we in the midst of what we're doing, I want to go around and everybody introduce themselves. Pastor, introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are and where you're hailing from.
Okay, I'm Pastor Brown of Tabernacle of Worship here in Morrow, Georgia.
Good deal. Landon.
Landon Sands here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Good deal. We do have Donald Toussaint with us. I think he's having some technical difficulties on his end right now. So hopefully that brother be with us in a minute or two. And let me see. I'm seeing what this is. Got a lot of things going on here, but we're gonna go ahead and jump into our first topic. And Pastor, we're gonna start it off with you now. I'm not going to gear you or steer you in any kind of way. I want you to take it the way in which you want it to go. But I'm going to ask the question: what map got you to where you are today? What map got you to where you are today?
What map got me to where I am today? I would have to say for me, it was the Word of God that really served as my map, and it wasn't like it was a direct road map. There were plenty of times that I strayed from it. There were plenty of times I thought that I knew better than the map.
Wow.
Sometimes when you're using Google Maps and you're driving in certain areas and you're like, oh man, you can tell this hasn't been updated. So you're thinking, okay, I know the way. Let me turn this way. Let me turn that way because there are new streets that are here. And I'm thinking they don't know about these streets because it's not on this map. But what I discovered is that the Bible was a little different because even though there may be things that I saw that I didn't perceive in the Word, when I became able to understand it and read it a little better, I could see, oh, wait a minute, that's that road right there.
Yeah.
That road that I said wasn't there, it's actually right here. So that was my map. That was my map. That's helped me to get there. But again, it hasn't been a direct path. It's been a lot of ups and downs, and I had to grow through a lot of it.
Absolutely. Landon, what do you say to that, brother? What was the map that got you to where you are today? What was that map?
I didn't have a map. Okay, let me rephrase that. I didn't have a map that I created myself or that I got from someone. There was a map. I just didn't know that there was because there was a plan for me that I kind of fell into. So, people say, God had a plan for me. God's map, that was my plan. I just didn't know that it was. So I was kind of, fumbling around doing all types of different things. Before I got into the industry that I'm in now, Man, I thought I was gonna be a football player, basketball player, try to be a model, thought I was gonna be a chess prodigy, all types of stuff. But that wasn't my plan, that wasn't my map. Slowly but surely, I started things started becoming easier to me. And then I said, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my destiny, or this is my map, so to speak. And so I started fully investing myself into the hospitality industry. I'm in hospitality. Not only did I learn, like, this is my lane, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I learned I ain't supposed to be doing this for other folk. White folk, nobody. I'm supposed to own my own hotel. So I'm in the process now of, discovering and trying to figure out how to own my own hotel and how to get my own instead of working for somebody else. Because, I make all these people at these Hilton, Marriott, all this money.
Yeah.
and don't see none of it but the salary that they give me. I could be getting all that money for me and my family, So that's my short answer. Pastor Brown, he really, when he said God's plan, made me think like, oh, okay. I didn't have a map per se that I planned out, but God had a map and a plan for me. And I just had to get on that path, get on the yellow brick road, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. And this question, man, I think it's gonna pull a lot out. Rico, good evening, Rico. How you doing, sir?
Man, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Hey, doing good. Rico, we're asking a question. What map got you to where you are today? What map got you to where you are today? What would be that map, Rico?
I don't think you can put a name on that map. It's just life experiences. Every life experience is going to be different. Some may be similar, some, very parallel. But for the most part, you're still going to have very specific individual experiences. Hard to put a name on it. Only map I can say is Rico's map. To the point that I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you what, I'm glad to be here. I'm lucky to be here. In so many other places I could be in terrible situations. You know what I'm saying? I could be dead.
Yeah.
In prison right now. So many different things. So, the map, there's no name that I could actually put on it. This is just, the design of Rico's life, my experience.
That's good. Donald Toussaint, how you doing, sir? From Oklahoma, Mississippi. Donald Toussaint, tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
You tell them where I'm from. You did that.
From Oklahoma, Mississippi. That's where you're from, brother. Well,
see, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Man.
I got it down to a science, brother. But look, we asking the question. Toussaint. What map got you to where you are today?
You know what? Really, what I tried to do was, you know how we do when we buy something. The first thing we do that we got to assemble, we try to find our own way to fix it.
Yes.
Well, I just start walking, hoping that I would reach some kind of a destination. And it did work out good. So I had to, you know how we do. What we do is, first of all, we try to figure it out.
Yes, sir.
And when we can't figure it out, we go to the trash can and get the instructions. And we find out that if you just use the instructions, you'll get to where you're going. So, I grew up in a Christian home. Daddy pastor, been preaching for years. I mean, I think before he passed, I think he had been preaching for 50-something years. So when dad left the house, mom had her purse and she was going too. And guess what? They had some children with them too. You talking about being on drugs? We was drugged. To Bible class, to choir, we was the janitor. We did it all, man. I'm telling you. And here's what dad did when him and mom left the house. He was like, y'all always got to go to the bathroom when we get ready to go. So he would leave you. and the church was about, I guess, about 3 miles from the house. But he says, but you better be there when devotion starts.
Mm.
So you can imagine me being left, and I'd cut across the field trying to get to church. I had mud on my back, man. But when devotion started, I best believe I was there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I finally found the road map that I should be on.
Exactly. Pastor, talk to us, Pastor. What is the map that got you to where you are today? And what are some of the obstacles along the course that strengthen you?
I think when you talk about a map, there are components of a map. You have the road, but then you also have the parts of the map that lets you know, okay, here are the exits. Here's where this road one runs out. Here's where you need to go. So I think the thing that I had to learn is just like, I remember when before there was Google Maps and you had to buy the map. They had map books. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
They had map books, and you have to open up the map and you sitting there looking. And before you left the house, before you left on your journey, you had to open up that map and have an idea of where it was you were going before you left. You see, that's one thing I learned, because a lot of times when I was younger, I would run out and try to start doing stuff and then figure out after wait a minute. Oh, I was supposed to do it this way. Oh, God, can you please bless me in this mess I done got myself in, because I wasn't using the map right. So that's one of the things that I learned about that map. And I think that's the biggest thing in life. Even when you even if I use GPS, it's going to give me turn by turn, but sometimes I like to stretch that thing out before I leave, just to say, okay, it's going to be here. It's going to be here. Okay, I'm good. So just in case there's something I did not know or didn't anticipate, I think, even especially with us being men, it's good to be able to look ahead.
Yes.
And to have an idea of that journey before you get on the road and start going. We need to at least plan our way. Now, our steps are going to be directed. I get that, but if we're going to use this map, we need to plan our way right.
That's good. Now, Rico, he said something about a map, and there's a key on that map that a lot of time people have to use that key to navigate their way through. What are some of the keys in the map of your life that you had to use to navigate through?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, the different markers that you have to look for. Say, for instance, when you get to your teenage years, you start expecting to go through puberty. We always were happy to start seeing our pubic hairs. That was a sign for us. Saying, oh man, there it come. I'm about to hit adulthood. And then you start digging up under your arm and start looking. You're trying to find a hair, whatever. That was a marker. That was an indicator of this certain turn you fixing to take in life. This is a certain place you fixing to go to. So that's another reason why, if you don't have written maps, elders are there to give you maps, to give you guidance, and to give you directions on where you're going. See, that's the key part about maps that you're supposed to have. It gives you direction on a place you're trying to get to, or get you in the general area. You say, for instance, you want to get to Las Vegas, but you don't know exactly where you want to get to in Las Vegas. You just want to get to the general area. Go in and you're going to start marking highway signs. You're going to start marking exits. You're going to go down I-10. Which one you're going to take? Which one is the shortest distance? You're going to go and navigate all of that and find out which route would be the safest and quickest way for you. If you want to go the second route just so you can do some sightseeing, might be a little longer, but you can look on that map and find out which roads you need to take to go see these sites, like the Grand Canyon or whatever may be on the way.
Yeah. That's good. Landon cooking up something. I don't know what Landon cooking over there. He must gonna be bringing us a little something to eat. But Landon, what do you say to that, brother? What are some of the keys in life that you had to deal with on that roadmap?
Some of the keys in life that I had to deal with on the roadmap. The unexpected, man. That's trying to navigate. So my upbringing, my background was not planned at all. It wasn't. I didn't have a reference. I didn't have someone to go to and be like, hey, how you do this? How you do that? Even the simplest things. I'm talking about wearing a condom, taking the ACT, like things I had to figure out on my own. And going to a public school in Memphis, Tennessee. We had counselors and all the stuff like the other schools did, but the counselors weren't really counseling. So, you just had to figure out stuff, how to do a college application. I was talking to my fiance, basic things like, how some kids, either the school bus pick them up or parents take them to school. It don't matter where I went to in Memphis. I went to different schools. I was always walking. The school bus didn't come to my area, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason. We're talking, that's a whole nother conversation. Why the school bus didn't come to our area to pick us up. But, just figuring out things like that. So even that, like I had to figure out what street to go on, what street not to go on. If you got a certain color on, got certain shoes on, you can't really walk down this here street, but a couple streets over, if I take the long way, I'm good. So just figuring those were keys, unfortunate keys of life that I had to figure out, right? From a young standpoint, unprofessional, personal standpoint. From a professional standpoint, I had to learn different keys of growing up. I got all these tattoos and stuff when I was young. Started getting tattooed when I was like 13, 15. And so when I started to want to be in the corporate world, I had to learn like, well, you got to wear long sleeves to some of these corporate events, if you want to do this and do that. Learning, certain times to speak, when not to speak, certain things to say, some things you can't say. Even the way I articulate certain things, having to do that differently.
Yeah.
Just like I said, it's so many keys to life that I had to learn that were not taught to me. It was more so experience that I had to learn lessons through God's plan, as Pastor Brown said, and no plan of my own and no one else's without any real help. And it's not a slide or a shade anyway to my parents in any type of way. My father wasn't around. Again, another story for another time. But my mom worked so much, she couldn't guide me. So from me seeing what I didn't want to be or didn't want to do, after on this moment, growing up, I did want to be all of those bad things. I did think that, being a pimp was good, being a dope boy was good and all of that. But eventually, I learned like, no, I don't want to do that. Maybe let's look at lawyer or doctor or, something better. And then I was like, well, I don't want to go to school that long, So I'm going a little bit too long. So I'm going to just say, in short, experience is what guided me through the keys that I needed to learn. I didn't even know there were keys to life that I needed to learn. But now that I'm a little bit older, I'm like, okay, yeah, I needed to go through that to learn this. I need to do that to learn this to get me, further. Me and my fiance just bought a house. It ain't like having an apartment at all. So we both learning, you gotta get gas cut on. That came with the apartment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just learning all these new things as I go throughout life and go through different experiences.
Exactly. Donna Toussaint, what are some of the speed traps? Now, I'm not even gonna say speed traps. What are some of the detours that you had to endure in this thing called life as you're traveling with this map? What are some of the detours? And they spoke about it a little bit earlier, but there are certain detours that, like he said, if you're wearing certain shoes, man, you can't walk through this neighborhood because somebody in that neighborhood wear the same size shoes you wear, and they ain't gonna be your shoes long. Go ahead, Donna, talk to me.
No, I would, you know, I had to overcome people, because you meet people along the road. And you know, when you're traveling, especially to a big city, the last thing you want to do is don't ask for instructions or directions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They
I
know you
remember
ain't.
going to New Orleans, for instance, and you fool around and you wind up at a dead end road. So
Mhm.
I've learned, don't ask for instructions from strangers. You know, Raheem, I went to Chicago this weekend, and we took 65 up.
Yeah.
And it took us about 16 hours to get there. But on the way back, I decided to take another route, and we didn't hit one interstate from Chicago to Mississippi.
Good
And my
Lord.
brother wakes up and he says, "What are we doing in Kentucky?" I said, "We're going south."
Mm-hmm.
As long as we're going south, we'll get there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Sometimes in life, you run. How about that, Pastor Brown? You like that? Try it sometime, because look what the amazing thing was. We made it in 14 hours.
Mm-hmm.
When it usually takes about 16 hours. You know, you got to eat, you got to go to the restroom, you got to put gas, but you can get there without taking the high roads. And in life, sometimes we try to take the high road, and it takes us longer to get there.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, you're saying you ain't know where you was going, but you knew you was gonna get there.
Oh yeah,
I'm lost,
but I ain't lost. Hey, no. You remember now? Two things, Raheem. I'm trying to shut up. I had Google. But I knew how to, I remembered that I know how to read a map.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't forget how to read a map. I mean, we got these devices and all of this stuff like this, but it ain't nothing like when you can actually open the book and read it for yourself. I mean, you have a way of allowing God to speak to you personally. Because every one of us are different, and you may read it one way and get what you need, and I read it another way and get what I need, and we can put what you need and I need, and we put it together, and we can both make it home. How about that?
That sound like gumbo.
Exactly.
That sound like gumbo, brother. That sound. Pastor, talk to me. What's on your heart?
Man, Brother Donald said something. And I remember being a kid and experiencing that. We were on a family trip, and I remember it was in Georgia. We were going to a part of Alabama, I think. And I had an uncle that was driving us. And so we stopped to get directions because we didn't really know where we were. So we got directions, and they said, go down here to this interstate, take the down ramp, and then it's going to look a little desolate, but just take a right and keep going. You'll run right into it. So said, okay, we did that. So we went off and got off. We took a right. We started driving down, and so he started slowing down. And so I remember being a little bit kid sitting up looking between the seats, saying, what's going on? So he slowed down. And before we knew it, there was the rail that goes across the road, and it was nothing but water out there, nothing but water. And so he figured it out. He said, yeah, they figured we'd be driving so fast, we wouldn't have time to stop when we figured out what's going on. And he turned around, and when we somehow we figured out how to get back to that part of Georgia or part of Alabama we were trying to get to. But he was so right. Sometimes you got to be careful, even where you get your instructions along the way.
Wow. Come on.
You have to be careful of the people. He talked about the people that you run into. that you got to be careful. Knowing how to read that book for yourself is so important, because that's why, yes, we're going to have unto ourselves teachers and all of that stuff, but it never supersedes the one verse that says, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman who needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. You can be taught all day long, but you need to be able to take your word for yourself and say, okay, that's some good meat, and those some bones I need to throw away.
Yeah.
So, but it's just a matter of reading your map. So that's what I got from Brother Dom.
Good deal. Rico, talk to me, brother.
I was thinking, before we had Google and before we had GPS, before there was ever a map, somebody had to do some exploring. You had people that did expeditions and they came up with a map. And they had to have certain traits. They had to have some awareness. They had to be very composed, had to be patient, and they had to know north, east, south, and west. They had to know the general directions. Like Donald was saying, as long as you know you're going south, you're getting somewhere in the general area, you will figure out the rest of it once you get there. Just know north, east, south, and west. With that, you still had to have a lot of composure going into an unknown land without a map. So as I was speaking earlier, like I said, I had to just go through life experiences because some keys I didn't have. Now, don't get me wrong, some I did. I can remember being told, always look a man in the eye when you talk to him. Always give a man a firm handshake when you shake his hand. Don't give him no little loose, flimsy handshake. Don't just give him a couple of fingers. If you're gonna grab a man and shake his hand, let him know that you're a man too. Look in his face. Be a man about your word. I started learning keys about integrity and honesty. I had my grandmother that taught me compassion. So, I started picking up certain keys, but at the same time, you're probably going to go along with more of what you have consistent exposure to. In that process, you gotta start learning how to decide which way you want to go. Like Landon said, you got a choice to go and decide you want to be the bully, you want to be the one that start taking the shoes, or you want to be the one that start making sure that people keep their shoes. You might want to having your shoes taken. You don't even want to be bothered with that situation at all. So you got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to know which direction you're going in and be aware of it. So that's the biggest part of it. Whether you had a map or maybe you were the explorer without a map going out here trying to find your way, you still had to have some sense of general direction and some composure and patience to be aware of what's going on. Focus about what's going on in your surroundings.
Good deal. Good deal. Landon, we got 1 minute, brother. What's on your heart?
I just agree with everybody, man. I agree with everybody saying. And I can't. I often imagine sometimes what it would be like to have had either parents or just any type of guidance. I know a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. I hear people say sometimes, "Oh, well, my coach, I used to golf when I was young, and I got a mentor there." Mentors, parents, just people that guide you. Period. Those are heaven sends, man. Because everybody ain't got that. It's people out here. I bear witness, personal witness, that's figuring this life thing. They figuring it out on their own, and it's hard. So to the people that do have a mother or father or both, or somebody, auntie, cousin, uncle, big brother, little sister, whatever, that's guiding them and trying to give them something, man, you better hold on to that. You better take heed and pay attention. Because when this life hits you in your mouth, it's a Mike Tyson hit. It ain't nothing light.
It ain't no flyweight. It's a heavyweight. It's a heavyweight. We're going to go to our second square. And Tucson, we'll start it off with you, brother.
It's good.
A lot of times we say that God did this and God blessed us with this and God put these people together and God did all these different things. But what if God did not put it together? What if God was not the one that put it together and you go on your own and you jump out there in the wilderness on your own accord? What happens in that state in that instance, Tucson?
Well, let me tell you, it's gonna work out his way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing catches him by surprise. Now, because he reigns on the just as well as the unjust.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some successful unjust people, right?
Yeah.
You think they arrive by themselves?
No, sir.
He knows the heart of the king.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, matter of fact, Nebuchadnezzar, he called him pagan.
Mm-hmm.
A fellow that got besides himself, built a great Babylon. I built this great Babylon by his hand. God called him a servant, his servant. Nebuchadnezzar, the one that put the children, his children, in a bondage, tore down the city, burned the walls.
Mm-hmm.
But that was God's servant, because sometimes God's people get besides themselves and start doing like we do, following after things that he told us not to do. So what he has to do is send some folks that are a little bit meaner than you to you to straighten you out, not for your demise or your destruction, for your chastisement, because he chastised those that he loved. You can get out the way if you want to, and let go the hand of God. I promise you, you can be like, what's this guy named Jonah that decides, I'm going to run. I'm not going to do what you say to do because I don't like them folks. Before you know it, you'll be drinking water. And then in a hurry to do what God said in the first place. So whether you know him or not, the amazing thing about it is you're going to do his will.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Rico, excuse me, Rico, talk to me. What if God didn't put it together?
I believe it would be vulnerable. It would probably be very weak, susceptible to failure, sabotage, all kind of illegal and ill-gotten. I don't want to say illegal, evil and ill-gotten intentions from people from outside. Maybe from yourself. You might get tempted and sabotage it yourself because you got the wrong energy involved in it. Matter of fact, I was just looking at a documentary earlier about Hector Macho Camacho and the lifestyle that he lived and the type of people that he continued to surround himself with. And they were always unsavory characters. People that didn't want to have around you in good situations. They all went for bad. Some of them were strip club owners, drug dealers, and the people that really meant them the best, they had to cut them loose. They had to leave him alone because he still decided that he favored or valued the negative side of things. I guess it was more fun for him. It was too big. He was so much on that high road being Hector Macho Camacho that, he wanted all the intangible things that came with it. But he didn't have no religion, no positive energy, no God in it with him at all. So he never became the person he was supposed to become. He never defeated the people that he should have defeated because he didn't have the same ethics that they had.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Lando, what do you say to that, man? Sometimes people say, well, how could they not be with God? They blessed. They got so much. They got the big, beautiful home. They got all the fancy cars. Look at the clothes they wear, man. They got to be, but they have no God in them. What does that say? And what message is that to the saved as well as the unsaved?
Some may not agree with me on this.
The brother took a deep breath. Pastor, we don't stand by, Pastor. We're coming to you. We might need you to clean some up, Pastor.
No, I believe God is in all of us, man. I believe God may not be in the way that you do something, like in your actions, but God is in you. I don't feel like you're alive, walking this earth, doing anything if God is not in you. no pastor, I'm no theologist, or none of that stuff. But from my understanding, from what Grandma told me and the few texts that I read in the Bible, it said that we are made in God's image. We are all made in God's image, not just the folks that's doing right, the folks that's doing wrong too. And so the way that, and we are all of God's free will or something like that, meaning that yes, we are of God, but sometimes our actions are not God-like. So the things that we do to be successful, the things that we do to get all of these nice things may not be the right thing to do. Now, that don't mean that person is not actively currently paying for those bad things or won't pay for them later. Just because the person got a nice car, nice house, nice things, don't mean internally that person ain't struggling. You know what I'm saying? That person can be struggling with identity. The marriage can be in shambles. Anything, God gonna have a way. He gonna touch you in a way that he needs to touch you to speak to you. The material things may be easy for you to get, and they won't affect you. And he allows you to get those things, and then you go through things where you can maybe lose them. That bring you closer to him. You lose your wife. You're like, man, maybe I need to straighten up, man. Maybe I shouldn't be doing these things to get where I'm at. Maybe you may lose the things that you got, that made you successful for getting them the wrong way. But I hate to say, God not in that person, God not in this person. And I used to be that person, be like, hey, I'm doing stuff right. Why I ain't got, so. Look at the Trumps of the world. Look at the Jimmy Carters, all the people. I don't hate to keep using presidents, but just other people who do bad things or have done bad things, but they so successful on the outside. But we don't know what they're going through on the inside, though.
Exactly. Pastor, what's on your heart, Pastor? Talk to me. What if God did not put it together?
Man, it's so funny you should mention this, because I remember reading about David recently just through devotion, and it was particularly in Kings Chronicles, somewhere around in there, where he had done exactly what God told him not to do. He went and numbered the nations. He wanted to count. What's the census? Tell me what the numbers of the people are. And everybody tried to tell him, David, king, oh my king, you don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. Why do you want to know this? He said, I just need to know. And after he did it, that's when the word came to him and said, my king, God is not pleased with you. And judgment is coming. And it got to the point where things were happening. He said, God gave him a choice. He said, pick your poison. Either the people can grab you, I can put pestilence on you, I can do, what do you want? You tell me. And so then he says, listen, just don't let it be by the hand of anyone else. I'm putting myself in the hands of God. Okay. So he releases a pestilence, and then he looks at God. He says, God, please don't let the people suffer because of me. Put it on me and my house, me and my family. The thing that I got, because he was willing to acknowledge and fess up to what he did. And he said, okay, look, I'm going to be responsible. Let me bear it. Let me bear it. I'll take it. And that's one of the things that I think is important for us as men, because at some point we've got to be willing to be accountable for our actions. Because even just like what Landon was saying was like, look, there's some people, they rolling good, they driving good, they're eating good, but that's just right now because the die has been cast. And the Bible says you're going to reap what you sow.
Yes.
So therefore something's going to happen. And the wisdom of David said, look, I already know this isn't even the worst of it. Father, if you can simply have spared the people and render it unto me, God. Because see, that's what a man does. I'm like, look, no, don't let my family have to suffer, Lord. Let me go through it. Let me deal with it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the thing.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, good evening, sir. How you doing this evening?
Good evening. How are you?
Hey, doing well, doing well. Tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from.
Leonard Jones calling from Covington, Georgia this evening.
Good deal. Good deal. Leonard, we asking the question, what if God did not put it together? Because we always say God did this and God bless them. But what if God didn't put it together? What if they're living in a way that they know that they're not saved or whatever the case, but yet and still they're still being blessed. They still have the big house, the big car, the big home, and they appear to be happy. What does that say, Leonard? Is that a blessing?
Well, it's to them. It may or may not be.
Mm-hmm.
You have to remember, people have their own lives to live.
Mm-hmm.
So whether or not they attribute anything to God or not is their reality.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be yours.
Mm-hmm.
We are taught to give thanks to God for every good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it came along where even for the bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
which it sounds good as a preached message, but it's a very difficult thing to accept.
Mm-hmm.
That the same God, are you going to attribute both good and bad to him?
Mm.
You know, that may challenge some people's doctrine, of course, and they may want to get all up to do it, but it don't even matter. How do you feel?
Mm-hmm.
Just set all that doctrine over there in the corner. How do you feel?
Leonard, Leonard, where you say you from, brother?
Why does that matter? I'm from.
No. Where you from? Where you from? Look at where you said that. Put over there in that corner. That
I'm
sound
from
mighty
Michigan.
southern to me, brother.
I'm from Michigan.
Yeah, well, when you say pull over there in that corner, that sounded real.
Well, that's what it is. The corner, ain't it?
No,
isn't that what that is?
No,
over there in the corner.
No, brother, it's the corner. It's the corner. You sound like you from.
I know your South Kakalaki self did not.
Hey, you sound like you from Opala.
And I know you was supposed to go there.
Wait just a minute.
What's up, Rico, Mr. Landon, Pastor Brown, and
what's going on with you, my brother?
Sorry for being late.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But yeah, man, that's one thing that is so perplexing. And I've been praying about it actually for the last week and thinking about, you know, this notion that Christians live in a world sometimes, how do you say, a world of make-believe. As if they can do no wrong, so things won't go wrong unless it's God's will.
Mm-hmm. Now watch this, Tucson. Let me come to you. I'm coming to you with this question right here, Tucson. I want you to help me understand this right here. Because Leonard said something. He said, "Thank God for the good things as well as the bad." Now, if some bad things happen in your life, I don't think it could happen without God's permission. And so, is it that He's testing you, or is it that He just wants to see what you're going to do in certain elements? Can some of those bad things be the will of God, and He's allowing that to happen in your life?
Are you talking to me,
Tucson?
Oh, okay.
Tucson. He just smiled. He's saying that.
Huh? We got the same answer because, hey, you look at a lot of patriots, a lot of bad things happen in their lives. I like the story of Joseph. Joseph was a dreamer. Because his dad loved him, it says more than the brothers. Got him in trouble with him. They hated his guts. And along came Joseph checking on his brothers, and look what they said. Let's kill him. Throw him in the pit.
Yeah.
Sold him off to the Ishmaelites. Wind up in Egypt. Wife lied on him, Potiphar's wife. Wind up in prison. You think that's a good life?
No.
But see, sometimes evil has to come in our lives so that God can get the glory and make good out of it.
Come on.
Because see now, some kind of way, because he was a dreamer, dreams got him in trouble. But check this out. Dreams got him out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
The king had a dream, and nobody could interpret the dream. They forgot about him, the butler, the baker, when they had a dream. But when they remembered, oh, I know somebody, they dressed him up. He interpreted the king's dream, and he told him all about how things was going to work out. And since he was the dreamer of it, without a vision, people perish. So why don't you be second man in charge? How did that work out? We can't sometimes, and I'm going to shut up. Sometimes we cannot appreciate the sunshine because there's so much rain.
Come on.
But it just got to rain because nothing grows without it. I'm just
yes, sir. Good deal. Rico, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? Some
of the smallest blessings are the biggest blessings. But every person's idea of a blessing is really an illusion to the others. You know, we have a tendency to covet things that other people have that we lack, that we don't have. You know, if people have things or are able to do things that we desire, and we always tend to say they are blessed. They're blessed. And so we assume that it's a blessing. But we realize some of the things that really the truest, the most true blessings or the most valuable blessings are the things you can't pay for, like a healthy brain, eating hard, good flowing blood. I mean, just your general health, being able to walk on 2 feet. Sometimes, you know, you can't pay to get your movement back.
Yeah.
You get a car accident or something like that. So you have a lot of people that's walking today or were walking yesterday. Today they ain't walking. Money can't pay for that, but we'll look at those people that have and say, man, they must be blessed. Man, it got to be a blessing to be able to go and take trips all around the world when you get ready. But then we find out sooner or later sometimes that material thing that we consider a blessing, that was just something that they earned. That was something that they had a goal to gain, and they were blessed to be able to do that. But sometimes you get that money and it's a curse. And you ask those same people, some of those people that win a lottery, oh, it got to be a blessing to win the biggest lottery in the world. Well, ask some of the people that came up missing. They got extorted. The families tried to poison them and put insurance policies on them after they hit that lottery. So, you know, we have an illusion of what we think blessings are. But to me, I think some of the smallest blessings or some of the most ignored blessings are the biggest blessings you could even ask for.
Exactly. Lando, what's on your heart, brother?
What's the question again?
Let me ask you this. Can sometime a blessing, can sometime your blessing be a curse?
Can sometime your blessing be a curse? That's a good one, brother Ra. I gotta think on that one for a minute, man. Can sometimes your blessing be a curse?
Let me go to Pastor. We'll come right back to you.
Okay.
All right, Pastor. Can sometimes your blessing be a curse?
Absolutely. The question just becomes, was it a blessing in season or time? Before I say that, Rico just nailed something, because you know, I remember hearing a news report, a former Carolina Panthers football player. He was a tight end, I think. Good player. His teammates loved him. His city loved him.
I think it's Ray. Ray. I think his last name was Ray. The one. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. And his son, his little son, is in need of either a kidney transplant or a heart transplant. I can't remember which. But regardless of how much money he had, regardless of how much money he saved, he couldn't do anything about that. He's at the mercy of whenever that transplant comes available.
Yes.
They can move them to up in the list and all of that stuff. But will it be in time? And certainly we pray that it does. But just when Rico was talking about that, man, it touched my heart, because I'm like, you're absolutely right. Because there's some things, it don't matter how much money you have.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. There's some things that there in this life, money has no, your brain operating and functioning properly. The son of a man who lost a fight to dementia, I understand what that feels like. And so, yeah, there's some things money just can't even do anything about. Now, as far as can your blessing be a curse? I think it depends upon a lot of things. You know, some things we call a blessing, you're receiving it out of season. If you get something before you're ready, what does it mean? Recently, I used an example. If a 16-year-old gets a souped up Dodge Charger, 450 horsepower under the hood, they've been driving for what, 9 months? How do you think that's going to work out over a long period of time? They probably won't even get out the neighborhood that good before something could happen.
Yeah.
So they're not ready for that. You know, give them the Honda. That's the blessing. See, sometimes say that again.
Give them the Pinto.
Or the Pinto. That's it. Whatever 4-cylinder you can give them.
Or a bike.
Or bicycle. Or bicycle. There you go. Work them quads. Build them calves. Maybe that's what needs to happen. But we got to be able to understand. And you're right. Because when we get to be adulthood and we're adulting, as my millennial brothers like to say, they're adulting. They're not even thinking about, you know, am I ready for this?
Yeah.
If I get this business and it blows up, am I ready to hire staff and to be concerned about whether they're going to get paid? And if I have to lay them off, what happens to their family when I got them to come out and be a part of my vision? Yeah. So that's a lot of that. When you're mature, you start thinking about those things. But so what looks like a blessing, if you're not ready for it, it could be a curse.
Exactly. And Rico, I think he said something about the mobility. And there's this actor, man. He's a great actor still today. But Daryl Chill Mitchell.
Yes.
Daryl Chill Mitchell, that brother, man, he was acting in all kind of movies, man, on a great role, man, doing playing some great parts, man, and had a tremendous future ahead of him. But he had a car accident and it left him in a wheelchair. Now I promise you, and I'm speaking for this brother. I believe he would give every dime he got just to be able to stand up and walk again, just to have that mobility to be able to stand up and walk again. If we can get Landon out the refrigerator, I want to hear what he's thinking about this question I just asked, though. If I can get him out the refrigerator.
Hey man, I'm trying to make some food for my babies. But I did hear you though, and I had time to think about it. I don't think your blessing can be a curse, but I think you can be a curse to your blessing. So literally what Pastor Brown was just saying, I mean, you got it. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, you know? And when you don't prepare yourself for the blessing, then yes, you are a curse to your blessing. Prime example, I have a talk show. And so I study people who had talk shows. I want to be the new age Arsenio Hall. I look at all the Arsenio Hall, even if I've seen it before. But because I need to study him, you know? I study Oprah. And this thought came to mind. Oprah said that she needed printing done. And she was trying to invest in a small black-owned business. And she gave the black-owned business, I think a project, it was like 10,000 shirts or something like that she needed to get printed on. They did 10,000. So she was like, okay, I trusted them with the 10,000. So then I gave them 100,000. They couldn't deliver on that. You know, you see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Be prepared for your blessing so you don't curse yourself or your blessing. You know, Oprah was the blessing, but when you think small-minded, when you're trying to hurry up and get the quick thing, and you think God always got something bigger for you.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
they probably thought that 10,000 was it. They hit the lotto, you know, Oprah didn't, she didn't gave her 10,000, so didn't even think, couldn't fathom 100,000 more. And what was that 100,000? It could have been $1 million. You know, Oprah, she worldwide. Who knows what they could have printed for her. And this was a small black business. Imagine how they could have changed their lives, man. So I don't think that your blessing can be a curse, but you can be a curse to your blessing. Absolutely. I feel like that.
Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to this? We got 4 minutes before we go to our next square.
I didn't want to be odd, but I am so glad that Landon said it. For the very simple fact, a lot of time we forget what God gave us to begin with. You can just about do anything that you want to do. If you put your mind to it, that's the nature of being a man. The power that was given to you. So a lot of things you can do in your own will. God blesses you over the obstacles that you cannot get over. You know, when you've done the best you can, but it still ain't enough, but you know you've done your best. And then all of a sudden, where'd that come from? Then you knew it was God.
Yes, come on.
You know it's God when it rains. Because just as well as he can flood the earth, he can dry it up to where nothing will grow. Those are the things that God do in your life. But even Jesus casually said, just casually, oh, these simple things that I do, y'all gonna do a lot more than that. Jesus said that. Why would he say that? You know, with all the metaphors and everything else. And remember, I think we had a conversation before, and I said, we need to find out where we lost track.
Yeah.
I told somebody on the show today, I was doing a show downtown today, and the thing was about critical race theory, and we were talking about lots of different things and why we're here and what we're doing here, and it was boiled down to, if you would just follow the teachings of Christ, instead of all that stuff y'all put around it, you'll find out how easy this thing is to develop a relationship with the Creator. Because see, with the Creator, you know that you can plant it, you can cover it with dirt, you can put anything you want, but you got to sit there and wait on God.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because there's some things that you can't do. That's how you know it's a blessing, because you couldn't do it. That's why when you look across, it's hard to tell a young person, a young Christian, they look across the street and they see the dope dealer got what you want. But you telling him, sit still, pray about it. No, I can go get this bag across the street. Because to some people, that when they see them, people look blessed. Are they blessed? Are they blessed? Maybe they're blessed by their God.
Wow.
See, their God may not be your God. They may not recognize God at all. But even as a man, they have the ability to take and manipulate and do anything they want to do, therefore blessing themselves, so to speak. Because you have to remember, the opposite to this loving God thing is really self-worship. If you go across all you see, everybody on the other side that don't want to believe, they're self-worshipers. They idolize themselves. That's what they do.
Wow. Toussaint, we got 1 minute. What's on your heart, brother, before we go to our next square?
No, I'm just listening, man. Everything that's good might not be good for you. You know, I mean, you can have a blessing, or I like what Landon said. And you know, you can, if you don't know how to manage millions of dollars, you'll be a broke person with $1 million. Ain't that right, Rico? If your mindset don't change.
Yeah.
Can I hold it? Can I get it and hold it and get the interest until you get yourself together?
Hey, might be to live off the interest for a little while. Might be to live off the interest pretty good for a while. Exactly. But Toussaint, I'm coming to you with the next question, and I'm gonna start it off with you, brother. And What I'm asking is this: you have to pick one and tell why you're disqualifying the other two. Okay? You have to pick one and tell me why you're disqualifying the second two: wealth, health, or peace of mind. Donald Toussaint, yes, sir.
Peace of mind. I'll yell that out.
Mm-hmm.
Peace of mind. I know that health would be good. But if even if I'm healthy and dumb as a bag of rocks, what good is it? Wealth.
Wow.
You know, I see a lot of people that's wealthy and they can't sleep at night. They're manipulative. You can't tell them nothing. They think they have arrived all by themselves. So give me. I've been known to pay for peace of mind. Pretty good penny. I'm just saying. That's just me though. Some people say, man, I'm gonna throw it out there. Real men being men, right? Okay. Some might say it's cheaper to keep her.
Okay.
Go on, pay that bill one time. Pay that bill one time.
Just saying. I'm just saying, though, man.
Won't he do it? He'll give you another.
Peace of mind.
Lord. Pastor, look here. I don't know where they going, Pastor.
I almost shouted.
and ran around the room. Lord, my Jesus. Wow.
Let me know how much it's gonna cost me. I want to make sure I got all the right on the check when I write it. Matter of fact, give me that pen I had bought to write this check with.
So you bought a special pen to write this check with. Lord, my Jesus.
Come on,
Lord,
my for Jesus. A little bit of peace of mind. For a little bit of peace of mind, you will give all of it away. Trust me. You'll walk away from all of it for a peace of mind.
Look at Rico. I gotta come there because I would not dare go to Leonard right now. I would not dare go to him. But look, wealth, health, or peace of mind. Which one are you keeping, and why are you getting rid of the other two?
I'm keeping my mental and my physical health. I could create the other two. I'm capable, healthily capable. I mean, you know, I don't want to have a peace of mind, but I can't walk half a mile, and somebody might have to call the ambulance home for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my blood pressure numbers to be through the roof because that peace of mind ain't gonna be too good. Then I might be feeling good because I don't conform. I don't got used to this bad health, but really and truly, I don't realize I'm dying on the inside. I got a peace of mind because I'm still sitting up here eating my bluebell, smoking my cigarettes or whatever it is I like to do. All my fried chicken, you know what it is we like. Yeah. And so, you know, you can get people like, see, for people to have a peace of mind, they got to be in a very calm place. They got to be comfortable. And sometimes being comfortable can be a bad thing. You know, I hate to go back to the past subjects, but you can actually sort of wrap this around both of those subjects, because I was thinking about how you were saying sometimes you got to be in the right place to receive a blessing. And then like Leonard was saying, and pretty much what I was saying, some people's idea of a blessing is different. You know, to me, it's an illusion of what you may think a blessing is. You have to actually just accept recognition for making the effort. Accept recognition for not only sleeping 3 hours a day because you put in that hard work to get to where you were. The blessing was that you were able to stay woke and function only on 3 hours of sleep every day. You didn't crash. You were able to keep on going. So, I mean, you know, I look at all that and you know, tying it all in together. Y'all might have to save me a little bit on this one. I was just, you know, thinking about how all that really, it can work together. I choose that mental health and physical health. I can bring all that around. I can bring the wealth and the peace of mind. I can achieve that on my own.
Yeah. Okay. So you want the health?
Yeah, I want the health.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Lando, what you select, brother? Health, wealth, or peace of mind? Why you?
I have to pick one and tell why the other two, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. So for me, it would definitely be mental health. And the reason why is because, like Rico said, as long as my mind right, the other two I can get. I can't get the other two and get my mind. Like it don't work like that. My mind has to be right for me to want to be physically healthy, and my mind has to be right for me to get wealthy. It's a certain type of mental. My wife like to call it evolution. Like once your mind evolves to a certain point, because we talk about financial literacy a lot in our house, but also understanding the struggle mindset, the poverty mindset. When you've been poor for so long, it don't matter if you get $1 million. You still gonna try to squeeze the last of that toothpaste out the thing. You still gonna scrape the bottom. You know, when rich folks don't do that. Once the toothpaste get about halfway, they throw it away, they go get another. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because their mindset, their mind frame is different. So I have to have peace of mind. I have to have a healthy mind to understand that my body does need work, that I need to work out. I have to have a healthy mind to understand that this job ain't working out, or I'm worth more than this job. You know, I forget the 9 to 5, build my own business, you know, or work somewhere else that is paying me what I'm worth. You understand what I'm saying? So absolutely, I can get the other two, but I gotta have a peace of mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Leonard, which one you pick? Health, wealth, or peace of mind?
Look at your back.
Man, you know what? I'm just this way.
Uh-oh, yo.
I don't have to take this world's options.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that God will bless me with all three. I don't believe I have to give up one for the other.
Man,
I believe that.
See, that's why.
Good answer. Good answer.
That's why folks didn't want to play with you in school, and
he just ain't gonna cooperate in it.
Yeah, you know, you come up to me and tell me, you know, well, I can't run them laps today. Come here, bow your head. Thou art healed. Start running. Let me tell you.
I didn't see it now, Leonard. Leonard. Snack time ain't till 11 o'clock. I don't care if it's
8. You know, it's just
I'm hungry now. I'm hungry.
I just truly believe that we limit ourselves this way because the relationship where you've seen people on their deathbed on money and at the hospital on Tuesday. When you've seen people with no money be the best people you ever met in your life, ain't got 2 nickels to rub together. But they'll give you they last.
And they look happy and they appear to be very happy.
Exactly. So, you know, we're so used to thinking that we got to give up this for that or what have you, when God gave you your whole life to live more abundantly. He constantly, for some reason, told us, you can have it. All you gotta do is ask.
Okay, but well, I'm about to ask, brother. Pick one and put the other 2 down.
You keep them all, and I'll go to God.
Oh Lord, look at that. He gonna go to God on me.
Hey, I'm like my man said. I tell you what, if you believe your God that much, you go ahead. You build whatever you go. I tell you what, when I get to talking to my God, pour water all around that you had built. How long y'all been praying all them days for the health? You okay? Stand back, watch God. That's the kind of faith I have.
Are you gonna do it like heal? You gonna put it out there?
We have to, because we speak about it too much as Christians. We speak about it too much. You know how much pain some of you have probably been in. How you feel today? How you feel today?
Marvelous.
You remember when you ain't had nothing?
Mhm.
You got a little something in your pocket. Some of y'all got even little cute girlfriends and wives and stuff.
God almighty.
Remember when you had that old big old nose and when nobody like you and blah, blah, blah. And you come on, man. God will. Trust me.
Yes, you will.
Come on, Landon. Come on. You know, ain't nobody gonna love you. That's okay. God loves you. God loves you. God, you know how you used to be.
My fiance right now, the woman I'm gonna marry soon. Well, when you know, once the COVID and everything, we can get people to come out of town. The girl that I was with before her, true story, I can't make this up. Now, I wasn't thinking about getting with the lady at the time. I just ran past her profile.
Landon, hold on, Landon. I'm gonna try to save you, brother. Don't get yourself in no trouble.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm good. I'm sorry.
Look, okay. Look, I'm trying to help you, brother.
I'm good. My wife know about this story.
Good. Okay. Make sure you ain't putting no deposits down.
So you know how you scroll on social media, Instagram and stuff. I'm just scrolling down some. That's all I was doing. I didn't stay on it too long or nothing. I was scrolling past it. My ex-girlfriend, she walking behind me. She ain't gonna never talk to you. She don't like you. She ain't gonna never talk to you. She's my fiance now.
Come on. And so there's something, thank you. There's something about me that God has just looked down on and showed me so much grace and mercy. It is absolutely amazing. Things that I've just didn't care nothing about. God looked out for me.
Yes, sir.
And so when it wasn't there, guess what? I still love the Lord just as much. Ain't had no money. You know what I say? Well, God, you said. And then there it come. So you know, it's not about picking things. It's about believing that God will bless you with the desires of your heart.
Yes.
And you know, when we pick things, we're making the rule. It's our will. And I think that's the difference.
Let's do this, Leonard. Let's do this, and let's clarify this for some of the babes in Christ out there, because what you said was so powerful, and I agree with you 1,000%. He will give you the desires of your heart, long as your desires line up with the word of God, line up with what it is that, you know, he ain't gonna give you well, you want crack, you want this stuff that's gonna be disruptive to you, and you know, long as it lines up with the word of God, he'll give it to you. Now,
well, like I said, look. I'm gonna let the pastor handle that.
Go ahead, Pastor. Coming to you, Pastor. Well, look here. First, answer the question: wealth, health, or peace of mind. Which one you want? Now, don't play like Leonard play. This Joker man, don't play like Leonard play. He don't play right. He don't play the game right, man. Play the game right, brother.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna try to stick to the rules, bro. I'm trying to stick to the rules.
Leonard be walking through like Snoop Dogg. Forget your couch,
bro. Hey, Rico. Boy, I love Snoop.
A baby boy all over again.
Oh God!
Exactly.
All right. So. No, I'm gonna have to choose peace of mind. That's first. Because if we have to make a choice, I'll choose that, and I think that will guide the others. Because I don't think, because I was going to ask you, I don't think not having or choosing one doesn't mean that the others can't be influenced. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm going to choose one, then yeah, I'm going to choose peace of mind, because that is going to then influence my wealth and influence my health. If I have right peace of mind. The other two may not necessarily affect your peace of mind. Now, Leonard was absolutely right. He was right on some things. Lord. It is, but he, you know, God will give you the desires of your heart, but he does say, delight yourself in him.
Yes.
Delight yourself in him, and then he gives you the desires of your heart. And that when it says delight, it doesn't mean being happy. He means to allow yourself to be moldable and pliable. Allow yourself to be molded by the hand of God, he's going to give you the desires because it's what he's placed in your heart. So, that's what that means. But I mean, I think right in that context, it's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Tucson, talk to me.
There was a man that had the opportunity asked by God to say, what do you want? Ask anything that you want. What an amazing opportunity. Could have got all the wealth and all the health that he could possibly get. But he says, give me wisdom and knowledge for the sake of the people. I'm going to just say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
For the sake of the people. See, sometimes we ask for things just for us. It's all me, my, and I. Don't care about the next person, what they're going through, what they. But see, if you're really gonna accomplish something, even if it's a business or something like that, it's not for you. You look at what you provide. You look at your audience. You look at who you're supplying for, and then you try to seek the wisdom and the knowledge to get those things based on who you are supplying. So that's about all I'm gonna say about that, brother. Because sometimes we ask for the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can get my peace of mind, if I can get that perfect peace, because I know people with millions of dollars lose it and blow their brains out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just
exactly. We got we got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, that's my baby girl, y'all. That's my baby girl. Hey, I want to ask you this question. You got to pick one, and you got to throw away the other two. Okay, what do you want? Wealth, health, or peace of mind? Which one you want?
Peace of mind, probably.
Why you say?
Because homeless people seem happy. So, and I don't think anybody's help is ever 100%. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Landon, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm trying to find you on IG, man.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to repeat the question for me too.
No, we still the same thing: wealth, health, or peace of mind. Why do you go the route that you go?
Again, man, just the mind. The mind control everything, man. You can't do anything without your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Talk, breathe, walk, cook. I don't care what it is. Open your eyes, blink, pray. You cannot do anything without your mind. And I know you're saying peace of mind. You're not saying sanity, but ain't it the same thing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like a lot we get confused with the peace of mind thing. We think when people say peace of mind, they're saying, oh, someone taking my peace, somebody else, like it's an outside force or something like that. But when your mind is gone, when you're not sane, and I ain't talking about crazy, I'm talking about literally you have a problem, a mental illness, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's the worst thing ever. I'm not gonna say you can't, because God works in mysterious ways. But it's extremely difficult to come back from something mental. You know, fat people get skinny every day, poor people get rich every day. But that mind thing,
yeah, that's deep. That's deep. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
It is, the old people say, you should be blessed with even a reasonable portion of your mind. You wake up clothed in your right mind. They will always focus on that because they had to.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about when we say, because everything I've been through, the one thing that has been constant is I have been me and God has been God. While everything else was moving around and cutting up and acting a fool, I've always been me and God has always been God. So those are the things that are important to me. I don't, you know, I don't even like to be around people that can control themselves emotionally. You know, one, I'm not even gonna let you raise your voice at me. Bring that down.
Yeah.
Bring that down. You know, even with women, bring it down. See, because now you're hollering, now you're moving your hands, and now, you know, we don't want this to escalate. So I'm always practicing these things all the time. Why? Because of myself. Because of my tendencies. I don't always think the good thing. My first thought may be to just jump up and choke you, but I don't do it.
Yeah, don't mind.
My mind, trust me, the filter, y'all say, oh, he say whatever he want. Do you know the filters that are still up? So I'm never beyond needing new grace and new mercy. I don't never get beside myself like some people do. I'm Pastor Brown, and you know, I've been around them people. But you know what? When life started messing with you, everybody started looking the same. When you go in the hospital, guess what? It'd be a rich man laying in the bed next to a poor man. Both of them have you ever been in one room, pastor praying, and some of the old little white, crooked, old dirty note, could you pray for me? Them type of testimony. Like, I mean, actually, when folks start looking around, like, if she the one laying there with the cancer and going through the pain, why is she the one smiling? Everybody else crying. She's smiling, and she the one sick. Because even that old lady still laying there thanking God for every single day she ever had. And if today be the last, it's done. That's how you lay out. It's done. When you know you've done the best that you can, when you've been that good Christian. And you really start thinking and living that life where, like you say, you brought up the story about asking for wisdom. As a child, I asked for wisdom. I didn't get anything else. I was watching people steal what they wanted. I didn't ask God for none of that. Lord, don't let me steal to get it. You know what I'm saying? Lord, don't let me have to take too many. Oh, you know how you've been on that ride. You know how you've been on that ride. And you be like, I can't keep going on that ride.
Exactly.
I just can't keep doing. God been blessing me too much for me to keep going on this ride, man. Because one time your luck gonna run out, and when your luck run out, then what? Then what? When your luck run out, you don't bless yourself. You got lucky. And lucky is real petty. Real petty.
Yeah. Hold on, preacher. Hold on, preacher. Let me go to somebody else. Let me go to Rico. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, I guess I'm really trying to determine which way you mean peace of mind. Do you mean peace of mind is like I'm just comfortable? I have no worries. I'm not being bothered by anybody. Just leave me alone. I'm just kicked up in my hammock, wiggling my toes. Or peace of mind, like mentally stable.
Well, initially I meant peace of mind. Like you said, just I don't have any worries. I'm just peaceful. I'm calm. I can throw my hands back and I ain't worried about nothing.
I have to go back. I have to still stick with the health on that. Like I said, I'm using that health as a physical means of health and a mental means of health. I can accomplish all that, you know. And when I was trying to tie it in earlier, what I was meaning, you know, the way I was going to tie it in was when you were talking about the map and having direction. A lot of times, you got a good foundation and you have some type of direction, you can have yourself prepared for those blessings that might come too soon. Like when Pastor Brown was saying earlier about you might get that windfall, but you don't know how to prepare for making sure other people could provide for their families, that they could keep a job. Maybe that blessing came too early. But sometimes if you come off with a good foundation and you do get lucky, like Leonard said, maybe that opportunity just fall in your lap and it's a big opportunity that you wanted, but you don't think you were there yet. You found it straight enough to adjust, to cope. Okay, I'm gonna make this thing work. And you still gonna make it work because why your heart is in the right place. You had a good map, you had a good direction to go in, a good foundation. And so, you know, I I was laughing earlier when y'all started talking about the blessing, you know, and it was still pertaining to this because once again, like I said, the blessing is really in the eye of the beholder. Tyrone off of Dave Chappelle show, or the crackhead that might find a kilo of crack. Somebody might say, hey man, that was a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you know how to chop it just right.
If you know how to chop it up, and just think about this.
Pastor Brown, we need some prayer, brother.
Break that thing down.
But see, on the outside looking in, it might be a big blessing for Tyrone, because Tyrone ain't trying to chop it and sell it. Tyrone trying to smoke it.
Man,
peace of mind. So, you know, but see what I'm saying is,
y'all boys sound like y'all know what y'all talking about now.
See, listen to what I'm saying, though. I watch Chappelle show. But check this out, though. The thing is, who would consider that a blessing? Because we know some people that would come up to them and say, man, is that what you found?
Mm-hmm.
You all of that rock? Boy, you was blessed. You was blessed. So it really depends on the eye of the beholder, who is calling it a blessing. It's not a blessing all the time. What you desire, even though it came upon you, it might not be a blessing. It might be a curse. It might be something you really don't need.
And then Raheem be standing next to you talking about turn it in. I'm gonna turn it into something else. Is what I'm gonna do.
But my thing is, and that goes right back to what we said earlier about what some look at as being a blessing could really be a curse, because that, you know, that could be a curse. That could get you 10 to 20, or whatever. Yeah, it's all about the mindset.
And if you aren't mentally healthy, if you aren't mentally healthy and got a good foundation, that will be considered a blessing to you. You will be the one that will think, oh man, I just hit the lottery.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Pastor Brown, we got to come. Only place we could go right now, brothers, to you. Now, look, we got 2 minutes. I'm gonna let you eat this last 2 minutes up, and then we're gonna get off this topic right here.
Well, I believe the song is "Pass Me Not," or "Gentle Savior." You know, I think just a lot has been said, just even around that subject. But even Rico asking for clarity on peace of mind, it's interesting that when you initially said it, we took it as to meaning peace of mind meant mental stability. It meant the ability to have recall, which I believe in our culture, in our medical environment, and just as men, that's critical to most men today. When you look at dementia, you look at Alzheimer's and stuff like that, you know, they look at it as end of life disease, so they don't invest in it. And also it's starting to disproportionately hit our community, the Black community. And it's not being invested in to cure. Even though now they're starting to have early onset of dementia and things of that nature, starting as early as people in their 30s. But understanding having peace of mind is great value to us, because you want to be able to be there for your kids, for your grandkids. You want to be able to understand and simply be able to know what to do, know how to take the things that you learn and apply them. It's important. It's important to us all. So yeah, I think that was interesting that that's how we took what you meant.
Exactly. We're about to go into our last square. It is now 9:30. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us, man. We're ready to run into our last square, and let me see let's go to Landon. We're gonna start you off with this last square. Mary, coming to you next, Mary. They holding on to yesterday. They can't seem to put down what I used to do. They holding on. They holding on, and they won't let it go. I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to live my life right. I'm trying to be right. But every time I try to be right, They keep bringing up what I used to do. Do you remember when you used to blah say, oh man, you remember we went? No, I don't want to remember that. I'm trying to do better now. I'm trying to be a better person now. I'm trying to live my life on a better scale now. So please don't continue. Yeah, some people, that's all they're gonna do. They're gonna come up to you, they're gonna always reminisce on what y'all used to do. Landon, what do you say about that? They won't let go of yesterday.
I can't say it on here because you told me I can't cuss.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I don't know. You got your little cigar going on, so I don't know, brother. Yeah.
Well, I can figure that out. I mean, I'm a little slow, but I can figure that out, Landon.
Well, you know, I said it the right way, the way I can say it on here. But man, I ain't doing it for them. And another thing, I'm not trying. I did it. I'm different. Yeah, I'm not trying. So you can keep talking about the old stuff. You can say the old, and you know, I believe all promotion is good promotion. Ain't no such thing as bad promotion. So keep on talking about me. Keep on saying the other stuff that I did because you know what I did, and they see what I'm doing.
Come on.
You see what I'm saying? They see what I'm doing. They see that I'm a different person. I don't want to, you know, act all high and mighty, you know, but my life is so different than what it used to be, y'all. Man, and it's only by the grace of God, and it's only through Him guiding my steps, being different than what I used to be. So I bear witness, personal witness to that thing of, oh man, you used to, you know what I'm saying, and I can't believe you get married. I can't believe you doing this and that and other. And it's like, man, that ain't me no more. But if you want to keep talking about it, please do. You know, you just bringing me more notoriety. You adding more to my testimony because there's some young person out there or old person that is still in whatever they're in. And when they see me, they're like, oh, I thought they said Landon did so-and-so. But he don't look like that. He don't dress like that no more. Yeah. He don't mess with all them crazy women and stuff no more. He just one woman I see him with or talking about. You know, so forget, I use that F word. Forget them. Forget the outside, you know, murmurs and talking and all this stuff. It don't mean nothing. You ain't there to please them because you ain't doing it for them either. You're doing it for you. You're doing it for your family. So they can talk all they want to talk.
Landon, you did good. That was a good F word you just put out there. Forgive me. You did.
It started with an E.
Yeah. You did good. Mary, I'm coming to you, Mary. They holding on to yesterday. They want to hold on to what you used to do and not want to let that go and let that be in the past. Mary, what do you say to these people?
Depending on the person, I say nothing. If I feel like if it's not something that needs to be brought up repeatedly and you keep bringing it up and I tell you that I'm a different person and you see that I'm a different person and continue to bring it up, if I don't need to talk to you, I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
Exactly. That's good. See, my daughter, man, she don't say a lot, but she say what she gonna say. She put it out there, and then she walk away. She walk away from it. Rico,
she don't say a lot. She say enough.
She say enough. Absolutely. Rico, they holding on to yesterday, brother. They holding on. They won't let it go. They won't put it down. What do you say to that?
Everybody deserves forgiveness, but it's levels to this thing now. Some things, you know, it's going to be harder for people to overlook and forgive. You know, so we also have to accept the bed that we made. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we make beds and we got to lay in them and accept the consequences.
Say that, Rico.
You know, so you know what it is when we have sincerely changed, and we, you know, maybe we can have enough common sense to realize whatever it was I did in the past that everybody's talking about, I ain't gonna be able to fix my face around here for that. Shouldn't, you know, it's gonna be too hard. But when they say have a fresh start, that's what they really mean. Sometimes you really have to have a fresh start. Move on. Get them. Like they said, like Landon said, forget them. You don't have to stay there. You're not running. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, there's levels to it. Sometimes you may have done things so bad that you can't recover from in that community until after you have achieved what it is you accomplished. So maybe you need to go to another state. Maybe you need to move to another city and go and be sincerely who you want to be. If you turn your life over to God and you want to start preaching, then they need to see now that you are this preacher, you're not this whoremonger that was here in the past that got 30 kids everywhere. Because it's somebody to believe that you out here preaching the word and trying to save lives when you've destroyed so many or created so many and then left them out here without, especially creating them the wrong way. So you do have to prove yourself. Yeah, everybody deserves forgiveness, but don't think you ain't got to prove yourself.
Come on. Good deal. That's good. Leonard, talk to me, brother.
You should call me, Raheem.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. And was there that particular question? Did we go to the last square yet?
Yeah, we're on the last square now. And it is they holding on to yesterday. Yeah. They won't let it go. They won't let nothing go. Everything you used to do, Leonard, they just hold on to it, man. You trying to put it in your rear view mirror, Leonard. You don't want to even want to deal with that. You're different now, but they keep bringing it up, Leonard. How do you deal with that?
Man, I love my man Landon because he put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Once I'm through with it, I don't care what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do what you want to do with it. I don't need it no more. I love success stories. I love to hear about men who have made mistakes. Mm-hmm. I like to meet a man that right now, he could be Pastor Brown, but you never know. Pastor Brown, his testimony may be, you know what? I've been clean 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
20 years. So that sobriety means something to him. It's the work that he put into it. It's him saying to himself, I'm better than this. I am going to change it. And think about it. Some people ain't never trusted God in their life before. A lot of the basis of some of these 12-step programs and everything is what? This same Christianity I was taught as a child.
Mm-hmm. Like
I tell somebody, it's a shame when you hear somebody say, I'm going to get my life together. That's why I ain't been in church. Excuse me? Excuse me, you're going to get your life together outside the church. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you just hear people talk and the things that they convince themselves of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always, it shouldn't even matter where you were when he healed you and took you out of what he took you out of. It shouldn't even matter. As they asked that one man, was he a Jew? Jew or Greek, I know not.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do know is I can see.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
This is what we have to focus on. When he gives you that chance and do you know how many times God has picked me up off the ground?
Yes, sir.
I didn't even know how I got there, really. I just wound up there. Didn't even know. But I'm so glad I wasn't crazy and arrogant enough to turn my nose up to God and act as if, because you know what, it could have been so much worse. Mm-hmm. Everybody fall, but you know what? When I fell, I didn't have no broken bone. Mm-hmm. None of that. Just enough to be able to understand that God was giving me something, but he wasn't blessing everybody the same.
Mm-hmm.
Why I ain't get shot? I was standing right there. But for some reason I didn't get shot. Or that trip I was gonna take and everybody else went to jail. That trip. Mm-hmm. The time that you got rolled over off the expressway and just got out there and said, oh man, that could have went bad. Come on, man.
Len, I wrote something about you in the post over there, Len.
Come on, man. Was drunk. Trust me. Have been drunk. Drunk.
He just want you to fail now. The sober person.
It used to be I wasn't finished till it was running out the side of my mouth. You understand? But it's just those types of things that reinforce my belief and my faith, because as much as sometimes it seems if you try to destroy your life,
mm-hmm.
God still makes a way.
Yes, sir.
Still. Yes, sir. Still makes a way. Me and Rico, I don't know how old Rico is, but where I come from, a lot of my friends ain't make it to 50.
Mm-hmm.
Had the people I know been to jail already 10 years or so. Separated from their loved ones, their families, and their children.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can imagine what it must be like to be a parent and your child goes to jail.
Mm.
So I pray that I haven't had to endure certain things. Some of the things that happen to me now are really have been forgotten by me. Somebody come up to me this day, man, I remember when you started fighting the empty room. I don't still need but 1 or 2 people, but you know,
Wow.
man, you used to be, boy. Did I? That's the way it is. Did I? Because I can't understand how it was then, because my memory won't even let me go there like some people can.
Yeah.
You know, if you smell a certain smell, I'm so glad I don't have to sit in some misery and constantly be reminded of something terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I pray for those people who have this going on in themselves and won't let it go.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, let me go to Pastor. Pastor, what's on your heart? Talk to me. They're holding on to yesterday. They won't let it go.
You know, I'm reminded about this one thing. You know, Paul said, I got this thorn in my flesh.
Yeah.
Can you remove it? Can you take it off from me? Because I'm tired of this pain. God's response was, my grace is sufficient for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times I think what we don't understand is that the grace that it takes to carry and deal with that thorn, to deal with that pain, to deal with that frustration, that somebody else needs that grace. And the only way you really receive grace is by seeing grace modeled in front of you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes your grace to go through it, while they're talking about you, while they're messing with you, while they're writing about you in the papers, while they're killing you on Facebook, on Twitter, on IG, but yet you still walk with your head held high. Yet you're still able to go to work and do what you need to do to take care of your family. Talking about, especially about men, you're still able to do those things. And other brothers are looking at you. They are the ones who wanted to take the pills. They're the ones who want to pull the gun out the drawer. And they're like, how do you deal with that? Man, you just have to learn there's a grace, man.
Yeah.
There's a grace, because this isn't going to be always. Because the reality is, when you know you've been forgiven and your sins have been exonerated by his blood, then anybody else that keeps coming back around putting their hands on it are simply putting their fingerprints in the same place. So it's not you that's going to be held in judgment. Soon it's going to be them, because he said, touch not my anointed. Don't do my prophet any harm. When you are sitting there and you become this child and you are walking according to the way he's called you to, even after all that stuff you did, whether anybody accepts you or not, God has accepted you, and he's the one who's going to deliver you. So anybody that touches you is not touching you.
Amen.
Come on.
They're touching him. This is without reverend, pastor, doctor, deacon in front of your name. All you need to do is be believer. All you need to do is be son. That's all. He came for his son. He sent his son. We are sons.
Come on.
That's the only thing that matters. And so when you understand that, it's like, okay, that grace thing is more than what we can realize sometimes. And that's really what helps you get past. Let them talk. Let them talk.
Yep.
His grace got you.
So it's almost like their talking is a testimony for the grace of God, because what you used to be, and if they can see who you are today, that's an absolute testimony. Landon, go ahead, Pastor.
No, I was just agreeing with you. You're absolutely right.
Landon, what's on your heart, brother?
I can't agree more, man, about the testimony part of it. And that's why I say there's no such thing as bad promotion. You keep talking about the person I used to be. You keep talking about the things that I used to do. But that's old news.
Yeah.
You know, the people that don't know me, and some of the people that do know me, they see action present tense, not past tense. They see what I'm doing now. They see who I am now. I have evolved. I'm not the same person that I used to be. And the most beautiful thing about it is the ones of us that continue to evolve. You know, I used to be this person, and then I made a step further. You know, I got a little bit better, and then I got a little bit better, and I just keep on getting better. And everybody's saying this. It's live in action. You know what I'm saying? They say the revolution won't be televised, but the evolution is.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
You continuously see me doing better, being a good father, being a good husband. You know, not the father and the husband that we grew up with. You know, that we saw, you know, doing the bad things, slapping our mom around or drinking and smoking and, you know, treating women like dirt, you know, like nothing. I early on in my relationship with my fiance, and, you know, learning a lot of stuff now before we started going to therapy and stuff, I thought that being a good man meant I'm paying bills. I don't curse you out. I don't put my hands on you. I buy you flowers and gifts every now and again, take you on a few trips. Don't badmouth you. And that's what makes me a good man. It's so much more than that.
Yes,
it's so much more than that. It's the mental piece. It's the not putting my baggage on you. You know, it's the handling my traumas and my things before I come into this relationship. It's stuff that we have to learn, you know, that unfortunately everybody ain't taught. That go back to, like Rico said, right. Stuff tied together. A question that you asked earlier about the experiences and the keys and the lessons that you learn in life. These lessons that I've learned in life don't make me that man anymore because I actually learn from them. See, people go through lessons sometimes, but they don't learn from them. And so they keep on repeating that lesson. It's just like school. You're gonna keep on repeating the 7th grade if you don't understand that lesson, if you don't get it. Once you get it, then you evolve or you graduate or you move to the 8th grade.
That's good. That's good. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
If you're talking to me, it's your brother and servant, Brother Pete. How we doing this evening?
Hey,
my brother, Pete Brown.
Highest of honor and respect to you, Mr. Leonard Jones. Lynn Swan, I already know somebody that scored a touchdown.
Hey, we're asking a question right now is Pete, they're holding on to yesterday. They won't let it go. You trying to be a better person. You're trying to leave what you used to do behind. But you got these certain individuals. They always, every time you see them, they always talk about what Pete used to do. Pete, how do you handle that?
Well, one thing that is truly consistent in this living form is change. Change is ever taking place. So you say, restate that again, am I the same today as I was yesterday, or I'm trying to change and they constantly bringing up the past?
Yeah, they always bring up the past. You trying to change, you trying to do better, you trying to be the best Pete that you could be, but they remembering what you used to do when you wasn't such a good person. They always bringing these things up, man. They always try to bring it to the forefront, and you trying to put it down and walk away from it. How do you deal with that?
I don't really have personally. Definitely have, you know, I'm in the baby stages of older age, but I don't have those occurrences too often now. I did at one time, but certainly my life was progressing and changing, and the way I lived and conducted myself and the things that I was doing, it actually spoke louder than my voice. I let my example be the voice or the standard, and it would stand as the correction. So even if you brought up, you know, I remember back in the day, it was obvious that you were talking about back in the day, because today none of that was existing.
Yeah.
None of that was present. You know, you weren't exemplifying any of those traits. So it was obvious that something had changed. I remember since you bring it up, an incident where I was probably in my maybe early 30s, and the young man that knew me from earlier, you know, teenage years and stuff, and we had some confrontations, and we happened to be in the same place, and you know, like I said, we're in our 30s now, and he was still reminiscing and trying to conduct himself similar to how he was when he was a teenager. And at this point, you know, we've grown, we've advanced family and housing and, you know, careers and everything. And when I left, he remarked to some of the people that we knew there in common, I know I knew that guy. He was this and he was that and blah, blah, blah. And the guy looked, he said, man, you know, well, what's up with that, man? I remember that dude. There's something different about him. And one of the guys that we knew in common said, bruh, he's grown.
Yeah.
He's an adult.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you change. You're looking at him like, what are you, stupid? The man 30-something years old. He ain't 15 no more.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you? So I would let my living, me personally, that's what I did. But I would certainly say to anybody that's encountering something like that, man, you don't let nobody stand in the way of your progression, your personal progression. And you don't let anybody bring you back down to what used to be. Later for that. You go out and endeavor to peak and reach your full potential in spite of anything and everything that's standing in your way. It is your responsibility to peak at your full potential.
Good deal.
So triumph over any and everything that would come and mount a challenge to you perfecting yourself.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go. We got a few more minutes. I want to touch a few people. Pastor Brown wanted to say something. Let me go to Mary though. Mary, what's on your heart? Mary?
Nothing at the moment.
Okay. Pastor Brown?
Man, that was good. Real quick, something Landon said stuck out at me. You know, a lot of times when people are saying stuff against you and about you, we do look at the fact that when you're pressing through, that sometimes there's no bad advertisement or no bad press, especially in business. That's a principle that's taught. But I think there's something that's key, because one thing you said was that you're trying to change. You're trying to change. You're working on getting better. You're working on striving to get better. I think there are just some that we've seen in society. They're not trying to get better. They're trying to stay the same. And they're trying to make you believe that they're different, even though they're staying the same. And that, I think, is a travesty against manhood. Because just like the brother just said, we all should be changing. But here's the thing, we all are changing every minute, but change is inevitable, but growth is optional. We got to choose to grow. And as men, we choose to grow, we choose to get better, we choose to get stronger. But then there's some, that's not what they're trying to do. They'll use that stuff against us. So just want to throw that out there.
Absolutely. Rico, anything on your heart, brother?
You know, sometimes they'll praise us about things we want to forget too. Things that we valued and that we desired to do in the past and we don't desire to do anymore. But people would still come back and say, oh, you remember when you did this? You remember all this money? I got a cousin right now that when we get together, he likes to bring up something that really and truly I should be in prison for now. He should be in prison for it too, for being a driver. You know? He when I moved back from Florida, and he, you know, that was one of the stories that he would tell, man, Rico, he'll do it in broad daylight. I seen it with my own eyes. And I'm like, bro, that ain't nothing to be cool. That wasn't a good situation.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be around him now for that situation. You know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes you want to forget. But see, there's some things you have to look at. Number one, are they telling the truth? You holding yourself accountable? Did you really do it? Are you in denial that you did these things? And then if you are in denial or if you accept that you did those things, okay, now what is your self-worth? You see, if you know your self-worth and you got some pride about yourself, then it doesn't matter what they think. You already know that you dropped the ball.
Yeah.
So when you know your self-worth, you know your self-value, and you move forward from that, you grow from that. What they think from that point forward is nothing, because you know what you did. You know, you was being this fool or whatever it was, you was causing all this trouble when you was doing all this evil. You know that's what you was doing. So sometimes when people want to talk about, oh yeah, you remember when you sold this and then you made this kind of money. You remember you met these people that got this, had this amount of this and that. I ain't never met these people with that. That ain't nothing to brag about. This is true. It's an experience. So you know, it's you take the good with the bad, but know your self-worth. And at the same time, it doesn't matter what other people think. When you know your self-worth, you hold yourself accountable, move on, grow from it.
Exactly. Great broadcast. Y'all ready to go around, get everybody to see what they want to say in their closing. Mary, we're gonna start with you. What would you like to say in your closing?
I would like to just say to have a good night, and I love you all.
Love you as well. Brother Pete, in your closing, sir.
Just trying to put something together like whoop-de-wop, whoop-de-woo. DKM Radio is here for you, too. If you have something to say, we'll listen to you. And I forgot the rest. But anyway, great broadcast. Sorry we called in late. And I hope that everybody has a pleasant evening and continue to listen in to DKM Radio.
Yes,
and call in and share the broadcast and contribute to the broadcast, please.
Absolutely. We're going to keep this thing going. Landon, in your closing, sir.
Man, I just want to say, first of all, do y'all know who Alexis Cooper is? Probably not. Alexis Cooper just got $60 million from Spotify for her podcast. Let me say that again. Alexis Cooper just got $60 million over 3 years. That's 20 a year for all y'all who are a little math illiterate. For her podcast. People making NBA money.
Yeah.
For conversation. Conversation ruled the nation. It's a white lady. I'm not going to get into that. But we gotta support our Black brothers and sisters out here that have broadcasts or podcasts like DKM Media. I have a talk show that is on YouTube called Underground Talk Show. Please invest in our people, man. Please. We have important conversation too. We have stuff that people need to hear as well.
Absolutely. Good deal. Leonard, in your closing, sir.
Man, it has been a blessing once again to be with you all. And one, I've been really tied to Proverbs 23. Particularly Proverbs 23, and the entire chapter speaks to a lot of what we have been talking about in regards to certain things and how we live and what we learn and just things to be cautious of. Develop a habit of desiring that which is right.
Yes, sir.
Even when you don't want it. I used to use this practice. Yes. Boy, I would love to do that, but it's not right. So I will not do it. I had to do that over and over again until it became a habit.
Yes, sir.
To do that which was right. And I want people to understand that, because if you make it too complicated, you'll dig yourself a hole. You'll be worried about where you came from, what coulda, shoulda, didn't happen. But like my brother Pete was just talking, and what I always get out of Pete is nothing less than the very first day I've ever met him. He's always continued to get better and better. And so that's what we have to do. We can't focus on what happened yesterday because ain't nothing we can change about it.
Exactly.
To this day, if you can see this day,
now, Leonard, you know we
be
gotta
thankful
go, right?
for that. Where you going? You
Now,
be right
Leonard,
back in the morning.
You know we gotta go, right? Now, hey, Leonard,
where you going?
See, that's why people don't play with you in the park, man. I'm trying to tell you why people don't play with you, man. I'm trying to help you, brother. That's why right there, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna push you too high on the swing. I'm gonna twist the merry-go-round too fast. I am gonna come down with my feet up behind your neck on the slide. I'm gonna do all that.
Hey, you know, some people like to go high on the swing and fast on the merry-go-round.
Hey, you play kickball with Leonard, you roll the ball with Leonard the kicker, he just pick it up and hold it. Ain't no more kickball.
Well, you sound like me and my brother, Rico.
No.
Ain't no more kickball.
Rico, in your closing, sir.
Hey, man, I just appreciate y'all, you know, having me with y'all to communicate, man. It's a wonderful thing, beautiful thing, and be glad to see y'all again next week.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pastor, in your closing.
Oh, man, it was a great night. I really enjoyed everybody, learned a lot, and I just think it's great that we're stretching each other, man. That's what's supposed to happen for men. As iron sharpens iron, so shall a man sharpen the countenance of his friend. Yeah, it was a blessing tonight.
Praise God. Praise God. Now I want to invite you all to join us. We got a show that we do every day. Well, we do the Morning Glow every day, but Wednesday's a special day. We actually let down our hair on Wednesday, and we open up the conversation. Whatever you want to talk about, we talk about it and talk about it in its entirety. Now we call it Way Out Wednesday. Now Rico, what you call it, Rico?
Wow Wednesday.
He changed the name every week. Every week he changed the name. But if y'all get an opportunity, man, y'all join us in the morning from 7 o'clock a.m. until 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you join us to the Morning Glow. And like I said, that show comes on every day, Monday through Friday, from 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock. So if you get an opportunity, definitely join us for that. Brother Pete. Brother Pete,
sir.
Pray us out, sir.
Father God, in Jesus Christ's name, we thank you to God for the activity of our mind and limbs, a reasonable portion of health and strength. We thank you to God that we can come before you, casting all our cares upon you, because you said that we could in your word. We thank you to God that for the broadcast, we thank you for all of those in radio land, those in attendance. We ask that you would bless everyone, dear God. You know their needs, you know their situations, dear Father. We ask that you would meet their needs, comfort their hearts, speak to everyone, let righteousness prevail, and we'll certainly give you all the glory, honor, and praise in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Anybody got anything before we get out of here?
Y'all, please check out my talk show on the Crown on YouTube. It's called Under Crown. That is Under Crown with an E, UNDERCRWNE. It is on YouTube. Subscribe if you like what I got, and please let me know. Be honest with me. Keep that thing going, brother. Let it go. That ain't you.
And I checked it out, and I thought it was really good, Landon. I enjoyed it.
Thank you,
Pastor. Under Crown. Okay.
Under Crown. So y'all make sure y'all go check out and support our brother, man. That's our brother right there. So we have to support each other, just like you said earlier. So we family here. So we're gonna support you. We're gonna support you. Anything we need to do or we can do, it's a done deal. Now,
I'm looking it up now. Is it under your name or under that night? Because I don't see it.
So UNDERCROWNE.
Okay. I put a D on the end of it.
Okay, got you. It is now 10:03. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. There we go. I thought I had lost my volume there for a second. I heard some popping sound. I said, what the world's going on? Now, I want you to do me before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light on you from Real Men Being Men. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. Y'all do me a favor. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Y'all have a great evening. Love you. And if you get an opportunity, love each other, take care of each other, and just be blessed. Have a great evening.